Hey guys, Metallic Joker here. Welcome to an all new video where today we are finally playing more Everlasting Summer. Now I played a little bit off camera, and what happened really? Well, one of the campers went kinda crazy weird and he walked off to some abandoned other camp, which is spooky as all hell. And of course I followed, or took, one of the two, Lena, there with me. Now why did I take this most scaredy cat girl to the scary place? Well, of course, just like in the movie theater or something, she's gonna be like clinging to me. Turns out she's braver than I am. I wanted to go home. I didn't want to save this guy. It was spooky, and I didn't want to be there. She persisted on being there, and that's where we are. He found us, something like that, and let's hop right into the game. Suddenly, there came a noise from behind the door to the mine. I jumped up at once and started looking for something I could use as a weapon. The noise of heavy footsteps was getting closer. Finally, the door opened and Shurik appeared from behind it. It was Shurik. There you go. In the silence, I froze, staring at him. There you are. Did you think you could hide from me? What? Did you think I wouldn't find you? But I did. He wasn't sane, that was for sure. His face was distorted by a scary grimace. His eyes gleamed behind his glasses. The missing pioneer held a metal rod in his hand. Are you mad? It's us. Yeah, I can see it's you. He took a couple steps toward us. Whoa, back it up, bro. I instinctively shielded Lena. Did you think you could make a fool of me? Leading me here and there, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, and I followed. I followed. Oh boy, he raised the metal rod. Everything after that was like it happened in slow motion. Shurik charging at us, me pushing Lena out of the way, the rod slowly arching toward my head. Ow! Oh, my hand with the flashlight going up. Following all that, complete darkness, rapid breathing, blood hammering in my temples, silence, dreadful, heavy silence, merging with the darkness. I moved my hand trying to find the wall when I felt someone's touch. Don't be afraid. I heard a familiar voice near me. Where are you? You damn lunatic, I shouted. He left. Which way did he go? Where to? Ian's voice didn't sound too calm, but certainly it didn't sound like she was like it should in such circumstances. Boom. Calm down. She hugged me tenderly and pressed her body against mine. I tried to gather my senses to recover my breath to adapt to the darkness. Yeah, I'm gonna get like elven eyes. Ooh, I can see in the dark. What should we do next? You have a gun. Well, what do I shoot? It's loaded with a flare. She might be right. I took the gun from my belt, pointed it to the side, and fired. The room was illuminated by a bright red light. The flare lying in the corner looked like a firework or a sparkler. Let's go quickly. It won't burn for long. Where to? Lena pointed to the second door. It wasn't hard to open, and we headed into the darkness. ... The flare burned more dimly with every second. I stumbled with every step and fell down a couple times, but didn't slow my pace. If it goes out... Finally, we saw the light in front of us and came to the ladder, leading to a grating in the ceiling. The flare hissed and went out. Thank God. Turned out we were right under the statue of Genda. The grating was rather sturdy, but we managed to open it and breaking with the bolts with the flashlight. After reaching the surface, I collapsed on the grass, exhausted. That was terrible. Lena sat next to me. Just dreadful. By the time I didn't give a damn about this world, the camp, the 410 bus, or my previous life. The strangest and nastiest thing was that there was nothing supernatural in these events. I can't read. Shurik just went crazy insane. Nothing strange about it. I would too in his position. Lena patted my head tenderly and smiled. It's all over now. That's way too calm for something like that. I don't know, this is a crazy pioneer in the woods. You could even say a maniac killer. I think he's gonna be alright. Alright? I'm not so sure about that. The most important thing is that we're okay. She still smiled. How can you be so calm? I told you before that I have nothing to be afraid of when I'm with you. That's nice and all, but there's a dude that nearly killed me, and you were like, it's all good, bro, it's all good. It was not all good, he nearly killed me. Indeed, I might have saved Lena and myself back there, but it was only by chance, nothing more. If Shurik had been swifter, or crazier. Thanks for the compliment. You're welcome. Though, we still should have stayed here in the first place. You're probably right, she said calmly. I got real sleepy. Because of stress, of exhaustion, of how late at night it was, we should go to sleep. But I'd have to stand up and walk to the leader's cabin. I wasn't ready for that. My eyes closed just for a moment. ... Stars looked down at me from the sky. Thousands of them, even millions. Now their lights didn't seem to be so distant and cold. On the contrary, they twinkled to me as if whispering among themselves, telling merry fairy tales in eager competition. About a galaxy far, far away, and violet, fluffy piglets, about mysterious asteroid belts where ships had disappeared, about a fearless starship captain and his brave crew, about exceptional treasures and unreachable peaks of a planet on the edge of the universe. I wonder, is that a dream? I lifted myself a little and realized that my head was in Lena's lap. Did I sleep long? I asked in confusion, but didn't rush to get up. No, I don't know. I don't have a watch. She laughed. Approximately, well, maybe 20 minutes. Ah, that's okay then. I lay down again, feeling nice and calm like never before. The events of the night were becoming distant, as if I was starting to forget them. Like the story the stars were telling me. Shurik has come back. What? I jumped to my feet instantly. There he is, sleeping on the bench. Lena pointed to the benches in surprise. And what are you... You were sleeping so peacefully, I didn't want to wake you up. I felt a shiver of fear because such behavior was not just strange. It was not just inappropriate. It scared me more than Shurik's insanity in the dungeon. A lunatic who half an hour ago tried to kill us arrives, lies on a nearby bench and falls asleep, and she just sits here? Nothing to worry about. He just seemed to be a little off. Lena got confused and blushed. He walked unsteadily and didn't look towards us, as if I'd made a noise. She was about to cry. Okay, don't worry. There was some logic to her words. She probably did the right thing. In any case, we had to interrogate Shurik thoroughly. I jumped up, walked toward the bench he was sleeping on, and slapped him. Ouch! He woke up at once. What the hell? What are you doing, you bastard? What? Shurik stared at me with a scared and moreover sane look. What was that all about down there? What? Where? In the dungeon, in the mine, in the bomb shelter. Did you go completely nuts? I don't understand you. He looked around. Why am I here? And where should you be, in your opinion? Oh, wait, I know. You should be in an asylum. I went to an old camp in the morning for the spare parts, and then... Don't you remember anything after that? Lena asked, after walking up to us. Well, yes, and I... Don't pretend, I said calmly and sat next to him. It really looked like he wasn't lying, though. I don't understand anything. It's unscientific. Well, who cares? Don't think that I trust you. Memory loss can't occur, just... Shurik talked to himself, mumbling something, not paying us any attention. Let's go, Lena said quietly. Shall we just leave him here? He's not in his right mind. He has to go to sleep. It's dangerous to leave this psycho alone. He may strangle electronic with an induction coil in the night. It's going to be alright. Trust me. I had no reason not to trust her. However, I didn't have any reason to trust her either. On the other hand, who cares now? I wanted to fall asleep as quickly as possible. Okay. We left Shurk, who was still mumbling something to himself. ... We're here. What? Where? I have to go further on. Lena smiled. I hadn't thought about anything all the way here, just followed her, and hadn't noticed that we come up to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin. Yes. Thank you for today. There's nothing to thank me for. It's just good that we came back alive. We'll see what Shurk has to say tomorrow. Thanks anyway, she said mysteriously and averted her eyes. You're welcome. Well, it's time for me to go. Lena quickly turned around and walked quickly in the direction of her cabin. I suddenly had a thought that something about that was a bit off, not quite right. After all that had happened, well, it's time for me to go. It usually goes differently in such situations, doesn't it? I have no idea what I expected, though. Exhaustion hit me again. Walking with difficulty, I entered the cabin. The leader was sitting on my bed. Semyon. She started to talk sadly. Where have you been? Well, I prepared for a scolding. I didn't expect that reaction. Went to look for Shurk. Alone? Oh gosh. No, with Lena. So, what about Shurk? Looks like Olga Dmitrievna was really worried about the fate of the lost pioneer. What's so strange about that? The leader can treat her work lightly, but it doesn't mean that she is a heartless person. He's okay. As okay as you can be in such a situation. Well, that's good. Go to sleep now. Wait, but... She turned the light out quickly, showing that the conversation is over and I couldn't ask anything. Though should I? Ask why she didn't scold me? ... Still, Lena, what happened today? My thoughts slowed their pace before stopping completely. That's odd. That's very odd. I have no idea what is going on. Day 5? Day 5. Dude, feels like we've been here forever. We ran. Ran with the last of our strength. Like those who run for their precious lives. Like a doomed person, knowing that there is no hope to save his life, we still fight the inevitable and his own fate. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is, or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast, but we have no other place to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst. But death is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. But suddenly, complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to confront her somehow, but realized that there was nothing I could do. Yes. You know, A horrible bang almost split my eardrums. It seems that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. Well, that's interesting. I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. Just a dream. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clocks were showing a few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind, and my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Olga Dmitrievna wasn't here. She'd just decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventure, I had to have a rest. Last night remained a blurry memory, which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. Because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Though I would agree that with this principle, even if I wasn't a pioneer, and as a matter of fact, I'm not. On my way to the washstands, I met Electronic. He started to wave his hands and ran up to me. Good morning. Thank you for finding Shurik. Without him, it's nothing. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what of Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed this morning. I mean, he remembers nothing between those two events. I see. Alright then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club, we'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspiratorial way. Thanks, I'll come, probably. I have to wash myself first anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody near the washstands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers, but since there's nobody here, I turned the tap in such a way so the water steamed parallel to the ground and started to take off my clothes. What if somebody sees me? Well, I'll rinse and dry myself quickly and put my clothes on. The water, which seemed warm on my hands and face, bone-chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds, and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. A moment later, Lisa and Yolana appeared near the washstands. You could have done it by yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Elisa opened the valve and started to rub Yolana's back. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees us? What? Is there anybody to see? She grinned. Okay, just be quick. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so, I stared at the girls narrowly. It was a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. A minute later, Elisa managed to wash off all the paint. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome, Lisa replied lazily. Listen, let me try on yours. She pointed at Lisa's bra. It won't fit you for sure. Well, I'd like to try anyway. But out here, there's nobody here, right? Yolana looked my way and smiled archly. I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in these bushes, but enough with the nonsense. Yolana wasn't listening to her anymore, grabbed Elisa's bra without a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess I had something to look at. I watched the two girls chase one another around the washstands with bated breath. Elisa covered her breast with her hands so I could barely say anything at all. I leaned forward and stumbled over a stone and falling out of the bushes. Elisa and Yolana stood frozen, staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. The tableau lasted a few seconds. I'm really not sure what that is. Then Elisa took her shirt and somehow put it on in an instant. You. Her face gone from red to purple. It looked like she was about to explode in a nuclear blast any second. The only thing I wanted to disintegrate into atoms and to get as far away from the epicenter as possible. He was sitting there the whole time. So she noticed me then. You. And I accidentally, if you know what I mean. Elisa rushed at me. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran out in the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at the time, as showing up naked in the middle of camp, accompanied by 2 screaming girls, wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back, and stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself. But at the cost of lacerated scratches and bleeding feet, I had no time to put on my boots. I sat up on a tree stump and sighed. Some time later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. My feet are hurting, so I should go straight to the infirmary. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept the electronics invitation, or head to the canteen in hope of finding something left to eat there. Ooh, I was desperately hungry. I always took good care of my health, and even better care at the times when something started to hurt badly. Now I was able to walk and my feet weren't even hurting much. So my feet will heal up eventually while my hunger can't wait. I decided to take advantage of electronics invitation. In the end, knowing all local pioneers, it was smart to assume that there wasn't even a piece of stale bread left in the canteen, and the Cybernetics Club actually somewhat owe me. I mean, I had to pick the food over an actual injury because, I mean, come on, it's food. With such thoughts, I approached the club building. I heard screams coming from it. I tried to listen closely, but I couldn't figure out anything. Give it back! No, I won't. Yelena was running around the room with a coil of wire in her hands, chased by Shirk. Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but give it back! They didn't even give me a bit of attention. No, I won't. Shirk, completely caught up in the chase, slipped past me, almost knocking me down. Hey! Yelena was running in circles around the room, laughing cheerfully. I wondered what she needs the wire for. Meanwhile, the head of the Cybernetics Club was looking fine, even after yesterday's madness. One could even say he was looking fresh. This probably wouldn't help him in the chase Yelena. She was smaller, more agile, and faster after all. She could easily drive him to exhaustion. Hey! Yelena ran up to me and hid behind my back. Shirk, in his turn, left the club, slamming the door on his way out. He was offended, it seems. Hey, what's wrong with you? You won't catch me. She looked at Electronic, who was silently observing and all the silly running, and stuck out her tongue at him. Semyon, take the wire away from her. And why do you need it in the first place? You don't have enough wire or something? He was trying to catch Yelena, who was hiding behind me. He moved to the right while she moved to the left. He moved to the left, she moved to the right. In the end, I got tired of this and grabbed the wire from Yelena with the dexterous move. Give it to me, give it back, she shouted resentfully. No, I won't. Stop horsing around. I held the wire above my head so Yelena, with her height, couldn't possibly get it. Thank you. Okay, fine. She snorted and turned away from me. Why do you need it in the first place? That's none of your business. Yelena looked at me slyly. Do you want me to tell everybody that you... I shut her mouth with a hand and dragged her along to the exit. Okay, we need to go. I told the Electronic while giggling stupidly. And what did you come for? Once outside, I let the kicking Yelena free. Hear me out. You realize that it was an accident. Even more so, it was caused by you. I know nothing. Facts are facts. You were watching us. Aww. What would Olga Dmitrievna think? On the one hand, I did not want to care in the slightest what the camp leader would say, but on the other hand, everything was against me, and in my position, it would be better to not get myself into such a situation. Fine. Maybe we can make a deal somehow. She started to think. I know. I anticipated the worst. You bring me that wire. But what do you need it for? I need it for my needs. Okay, let's assume I get it. You won't tell anybody. I give you the word of a pioneer. I could hardly believe her. But on the other hand, it was just a coil of wire, so why shouldn't I? I mean, I might as well. Okay, fine. Deal. But you must know that— yeah, of course. She interrupted me. Wait here. Saying that, I went back into the club's quarters. Electronic was building something with rapt attention. Now I'm done with everything. So I thought you could get me something as you promised. My voice sounded a bit sycophantic, which was enough to drive me mad. Of course, I'm not insisting, but 1 minute. He tore himself away from his work and got a pair of buns from the drawer and a classic triangular pack of— I don't even know what that word was. Be my guest. Thank you. While I was busy eating, Electronic didn't turn away from his device for a second. He was rolling up the wire which I had taken from Yolano into the coil. And it was the wire she wanted. So what's this? An inductor. Anductor? Join our club and you'll know everything. He looked at me and smiled slyly. I'll think about it. Of course I wasn't going to join anything, but taking into account that he had fed me, I had to be polite. By the way, as I said, I have something else. Well, yeah. Wait a second. He went into the adjacent room and came back after a minute with some kind of package. Tan-ta-da! And gave it to me. There was a big bottle of— I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's vodka. This is a Russian game, isn't it? Huh. I get it, but it's still morning. Or does Electronics share the motto of get drunk in the morning, take the entire day off? Didn't even know there's a motto. What are you talking about? I'm not suggesting we drink it. We have it to clean the optics. Cleaning the optics. Yeah, right. Internally. Okay. I gave him the package back. By the way, can you spare me this coil? What do you need it for? Probably I had to think of a reason beforehand. I just need it. But we can't do without it as well. Well, do you? Well, never mind then. I can't just force him to give it to me, right? I'll go then. Come back any time. Of course. The moment I want to have a drink. Walking out, I questioned myself. Why he wanted to show me the vodka in the first place. Yolana ran up to me instantly. And so, have you got it? No. Well, that's your own fault then. Do you need this wire at all? But you get credit for trying. What? I was surprised. Elisa wouldn't tell everything anyway. Yolana laughed. She's really angry with you. I bet. I muttered quietly. Okay, see you. She waved at me and ran away. Here I am, in a stupid situation once again. No big deal. It's not the first time. Suddenly my hunger returned again. For sure, a meal of some buns and kefir was awesome, but it's not enough to fill me up. Luckily for me, I heard the bell sound, calling pioneers for lunch. The day had just started, and I've gone through so many things already. But I did it, and now have legitimate grounds to fill myself up. Today I wasn't the last one, so I got to choose a free table. Lunch included pea soup, mashed potatoes with fish. It was a major disappointment to me, as I don't eat fish in any form, and hence will get fewer calories than usual. So Slavia and Lena came to my table. Can we? She smiled nicely. Yeah, sure. I stood up and pulled out a chair for her. Please. Is in an excellent mood at the moment. Enjoy your meal. Saying that, Lena began staring at me and continued for some time, but then after realizing how odd she looked, switched to her plate. You too. You have any plans for today, Semyon? No. I gave her an honest answer, as indeed I have no plans, except for searching for answers, but that was more like a global goal. Do you want to take a boat ride to the island with us? The island? Well, I think I've seen it from the pier. For what? Old Dmitriev asked us to gather some strawberries. There are a lot of strawberries there, and they're so delicious. I can imagine the taste, even without even eating them, just by looking at Slavia's face. Strawberries. And what are those for? I don't know, but it's indeed a great idea. Well, indeed it is. Moreover, I haven't been to the island yet. Yeah, sure. Time out. Before I go any further, strawberries. I absolutely love strawberries. I could eat strawberries for the rest of my life. I would die, but I would be so happy to eat strawberries for the rest of my life. You have no clue. Just anything strawberry. All strawberry things. Strawberry is my jam. And strawberry jam is good too. ... Within minutes, we were already standing at the pier. Well, here's the boat. Hang on, I'll go and fetch the paddles now. I was left face to face with Lena. Do you like strawberries? Well, not really. Well, you had your chance, but you said you don't like strawberries. It's over. But they're tasty. Oh, never mind. Lena smiled. I see. I don't know what to say next, how to continue the conversation. If Slavia didn't come back, we could probably sit here till the evening without even saying a word. Here you go. She handed me a pair of hefty paddles. Yeah, thanks. We got into the boat. I untied it, pushed off the shore, and tried to start paddling.